Why you don't steal liquor from a rural small town bar. So, full disclosure, this story isn't mine, it comes from a friend of my father's and is a couple decades old. This means I don't have all the details, but luckily neither do I have or remember anyone's name, so we won't have to worry about privacy slips. My only regret is that I probably won't be able to answer a lot of questions beyond conjecture. This story takes place in a very little unnamed town in the Arctic region of a Canadian territory. A pretty generalized location, but rules are rules, so that's as much as I am willing to provide. It's important to understand that, especially a few decades back, laws up here were pretty loose when it came to dealing with one's own problems without involving authorities. If you caught a guy ducking up your asset, you were judge, jury and executioner, and if the guy ran to the cops about it, they'd either arrest him for his crime to be punished again or give you a verbal about your actions and leave it at that. I'm going to give some fake names for easy storytelling. We have John, the bar owner, and Mike, John's friend. So John runs this bar. The only bar in town. It has a dartboard, an old pool table, a few shelves full of liquor, and that's about it. Every day when John closes the bar, he makes a note of how much liquor he has sold so he has an idea of what he'll need to order. Being so remote, orders come in very rarely, once a month or two at best, so he needs a clear idea of what he will be selling and how much. Lately, John seems to have been slipping on this note-taking. It seems he's selling more than usual or running out faster. To keep better track, John starts marking the bottles at the end of each day. Little lines along the booze levels. It quickly becomes clear that several bottles seem to have less liquor in the mornings as they did the night before, with some being barely below the line and others being an obvious few ounces short. John quickly determines that, somehow, someone is stealing his liquor after closing hours. He decides to stake it out, and recruits Mike to help him with whatever and whoever he's about to find. John and Mike close-up shop as usual. Lights off, bar clean, liquor bottles marked, curtains drawn. They settle down underneath the pool table to hide, and wait. They did not have to wait long, less than an hour, but close to, I believe. They hear something in the ceiling above them, determined later it was the movement of a ceiling tile, then the sound of someone dropping down onto the pool table, before making his way to the floor and behind the bar. Turns out there's been some way to enter this building and climb along the ceiling rafters that John never noticed or considered before. The guy gets behind the bar and starts opening random bottles, taking one or two swigs, and putting them back. Taking just enough that without marking those bottles, John would probably never realize what was happening. Some vodka here, a little whiskey there. With the guy being caught red-handed, it's time to serve out some justice. John and Mike get out from the pool table as quietly as they can, then rush the guy. They grab him, haul him out from behind the bar, turn the lights on and identify him as some local acid head. We can call him Ass Clown Larry. They decide to punish Ass Clown Larry then and there, to scare him off of ever robbing that bar again and ever so much as thinking of ducking with John's acid ever again. Mike bends him over the pool table and yanks his pants down from his ass, while John grabs his cheapest whiskey from behind the bar. They take a ducking metal brush to Larry's ass. The kind you use to remove rust from steel. They scrub the skin down to the meat with this guy screaming, then pour the whiskey over the wound. Then they throw him out the door onto the road. And that is where the story ends. I don't know if Larry ever tried to do anything about it, and as far as I was told, Mike and John were done and never had problems again. I don't know if they went back in for a celebratory drink or just locked back up and went home with Larry laying, crying, in the dirt. Moral of the story, don't mess with people in a half-lawless land, and don't be an ass clown. The end.